of the Kenya Film Classification Board, to come and talk about his journey from way back when. I saw some pictures of him at Kenyatta University. And the gentleman then and the man now, totally different people, and we'll of course bridge that gap right here. Daktari, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
What was the weekend up to, by the way? Because I usually see every time the weekend for some people might be leisure. For you, they're usually working weekends.
Always on the move. We were in Kisumu, we and missions in Bundalangi, Mbumula, you know, so I just came back yesterday afternoon.
Right.
So that I can make it for your program.
Okay, fantastic.
And then I'm leaving for Mombasa now.
Today?
Yes.
Going to Mombasa?
Yes.
Seems like a pretty busy job, this one.
Well, it is. It is. I mean, we are a national body. We are Kenya Film Classification Board.
Right.
That's a national mandate. And we have regional offices across the country. The work that we do of regulating film and broadcast content is a national function.
Right.
Licensing filmmakers, ensuring that all the video dens that are showing films are showing rated films. To do that, you need to be everywhere.
Right.
And because we don't have the capacity to have a lot of staff on the ground, so we tend to go to the field a lot, so that we inspire the others, so that the same stamina and hype that is in Nairobi can also be on the grassroots. Because the issue of morals and what films do to shape the morals of young children, it's an important issue. And there's a nexus between our work of regulating films, what kids consume or what people consume, and national development. So to impact national development, then you've got to be everywhere, even the remotest parts of Kenya. And I like we travel a lot.
Because as you say, in terms of making sure that the morals are moving in the right direction, some people have even branded you the moral police, because anytime you make a statement like, oh, Mutua is at it again.
Jeff, I tell you the truth, we need more moral police. So
unapologetic about that?
No. Why would we need more? In fact, I would request you, I would want to convert you today
to be a moral
champion. Talk about these issues. It matters. What people consume matters. What our young children are consuming matters. And when the moral fabric of the nation is destroyed, there is nothing else remaining. I can tell you everything else does not work. It becomes, crime increases, the country becomes difficult to govern. Values like hard work, values like perseverance, values like honesty, they are thrown to the wind. So the best thing that you can do in building a country is to set the right moral foundation. And the ideological push or persuasion, the mind, since time immemorial, the battle has been the battle of the mind. Even at the Garden of Eden, it was the battle of the mind. And so people poison the minds of others, or particularly the young children, and then that's how crime is introduced. That's how bad behavior is introduced. That's how minds become lazy, or become poisoned, or radicalized, or pushed to think in a certain way. And nations that developed, Jeff, including the Asian tigers, who are at par with us during independence, they started by setting the right moral foundation. The founding fathers of those countries set themselves. You know, if you talk about Singapore, Malaysia, if you talk about South Korea, those countries, the first thing they did to develop was to work on their moral values and their moral foundation. Lay a foundation of honesty, people to know that honesty pays. That if you work hard and you love people and you eat from the sweat of your brow, you should be respected in society. So once you do that and you push films and broadcast content that speaks about those values, that projects honesty as success. If you're honest, you're successful. But now when we come to Kenya and to our region and Africa in particular, we glorify evil in our broadcast. You look at TV stations, item number 1 to the last item, almost 90% of the content is negative. Look at the music right now. The craze is to sing dirty, obscene, vulgar stuff. And people make it look like that's what is selling, that's what is cool. So unless we champion that and we speak about it, the moral policing concept in our country, it's about speaking against those forces that are pushing our young people to think that honest doesn't matter.
But Dr. Let me jump in there as well. As you talk about, when it comes to music or the arts or film, some people say that this is creative expression.
Yes.
It might not necessarily be of good light, but this is, they usually say art is reflection of what's going on in society.
Yes, yes.
So what these young people are singing, like there's a song that you said should not be seen outside of
it.
bars.
Yes, it's watershed.
Because we are not in a bar.
Thank you.
Isn't
And
it?
it's watershed.
And it's watershed.
Yes.
Should not be played or, heard in certain places.
Yes.
And some people are saying, what's Daktari doing in terms of encouraging these particular artists and like those, instead of banning this stuff that has clearly caught on? When you look at the views on YouTube, you can see, and they say numbers don't lie. No. It
means nothing. Even if it's 50 million views, it means nothing.
Right.
What I want to know is how much money they have made out of that stuff.
Right.
If you can't sing that stuff before your mother, you can't shout those words before your mother, I can tell you it means nothing. If you can't shout it in a church, if you can't shout it before the president or in a national function, that is just temporary craze based on obscenity, and it will die. Taka Taka died and others died. Right. There is no money in dirty content. It may look like it's popular, it's the cool thing, but it will not last. If you look at songs like Unbogable, they are tunes of Kenandaud Kabaka of the 70s. There is music of Yo that we adore even today and we listen to. Dirty content looks cool, looks sensational, but that's a narrative that I'm saying we must change because they're ideological to make it look like dirty and bad things are what sells. How I wish that creativity could be turned into something positive, because if it was something that we could sing, the man in the street could sing, the parents could sing with their children, I think I would really embrace it and encourage them. Right. But you see, they are doing it to create controversy and become famous through controversy. And let me tell you, Jeff, for musicians and our artists in general, they need to know that the content that makes money anywhere in the world is family-oriented, family-suitable content. Right. Something we can watch all of us. Right. Even the work of classification globally tends to promote content that is family suitable. Because if you are able to watch as a family, then it means there's more market. Right. And there's a nexus between classification and marketability of the music. So it has caught fire, and it looks very popular now, but I can tell you it's not translating to money.
But what are we doing to encourage these artists? Because they are saying,
doing a lot,
when we are trying to hustle, hatunangi daktari, ngoma yetu ikisikika, Dr. Mutua is coming to say it shouldn't be played. So how do we reverse the narrative, so to speak?
We do promote a lot, but let me correct that narrative because I'm not apologetic about it as well. Our work as classification, we are a regulator. We are a classification board. We are like the traffic police on the road. It's not our work to help you buy cars. It's not our work to help you, drive the flashy ones. Or, that's not our work. Our work is to look at the people on the road and manage the movement of the vehicles on the road. The road of the industry, the film industry. Right. But we still say, let's make to award a list of people like you in the media, people who are online. We are thinking of working with the bakers, the Bloggers Association of Kenya and others, so that we set up a jury that is not controlled, but will say their standards. And it's about pushing clean content. Right. So if you reach like Disago did, Henry Disago, you saw the guy we awarded. If you reach 100,000 subscribers, you get a certificate and some little money. Right. But we are aiming at the big money, which is from 1 million to 10 million. Okay. And that will help because we want to also to mentor them and support them to use that capital to start business. Right. So you can imagine if you got 10 million, even those guys who are singing those dirty songs, if they could now turn it into something positive and you put it on YouTube, because technology is the way to go. It is an enabler. So if you put it on YouTube, you are able to share the global market. Right. That's number one. Number two, we are doing Cinema Mashinani. Cinema Mashinani is films for the people by the people, from the grassroots. Done in vernacular, the model of View Sasa. We are working with Nollywood right now. I was in Nollywood last week in Nigeria. And we are bringing in companies from Nollywood that are going to work with our artists here to do co-production. Right. We want the young people to be able to pick the concept of Nollywood and embrace our culture and our values, celebrate our stories. And through that, we award them, we support them to do co-production. I am very happy for a company called Envivo from Lagos that is supporting actually Machakos Fest. We picked Machakos because of the infrastructure that Governor Alfred Mutua has put in place, and working with Victor Muniafu, who is the director of culture and the creative arts in Machakos. You know, there is Machakos People's Park, and they are very structured, they have a lot of programs. So we called Victor from Lagos and connected him with the leadership and the CEO of Envivo. And they have already committed millions, you know, to support Machakos Fest. So we are telling people, write scripts, submit them to Machakos Fest, and there will be money. We're putting about 5 million for the winner.
Right.
That's
so there is work going on the grounds to make sure that
a lot
good
of work
content
every
is promoted.
day. And you know, Jeff, we picked, we refurbished Nairobi Film Center, Nairobi Cinema, you know, for young people to be able to come there and showcase their talent.
Right.
We are supporting them. We are supporting the Kenya National Drama and Film Festival. Last year, we were the main partners. and from the ECD to the university, we came up with wonderful items, whether you're talking about spoken word, drama, art, film, music, and the items that went to the national, we are picking the top 5 and turning them into commercially viable films. So every day we are somewhere doing something with this organization or the other. And I want, because it's only when we ban, when people think, you know, they talk about us. There's so much that is going on. Happening. It's like in this country, Jeff, you know, there's so much going on, even in the government. Not every government official is corrupt, but people think Kenya is about corruption. There's so much work going on in the government. We encourage our creatives to know this, and this is very important.
Very quickly.
We are not at war with the creatives. We are here for you. We wouldn't exist if there was no creative industry. We exist because there are media houses and there are creatives in this country. We are not out to stifle creativity. You mentioned that. And it's a very important point. For them to know, while you use your creative expression and your talent and the creative license, you need to do it within the confines of the law and within certain moral bounds, so that you don't just create content for... You saw the boy. The boy was saying very dirty, you know, that's a dot, really. That boy has an issue. And there are so many of that kind.
And I know, and you know, with the passion that you speak about all of
this moral decay.
We also need to switch gears because we've seen what the board is doing and what the CEO is doing as the board. But let's demystify the man who holds that seat, Dr. Mutua. We have very many pictures that we are fortunate to get of you through the ages and evolution.
My son.
A very good selection. A very good selection right there.
Just go and look for the old albums.
Okay, here we are.
These ones are recent. This is modern one. Should have brought
And we have them. They'll be coming up as well because we have pictures of you in university, of course, as you're graduating. As you can see here, enjoying light moments in the house.
These ones you selected from Facebook. These are not ours.
And even as you look at this, it's because most people think that as, you know, authoritarian as you are and you passionately stance your positions at home, do you change when you walk into the house? You're a different, you know, Dr. Mutua in the house, and when you're here...
At home, nobody cares about me being a CEO.
Nobody wants to know that.
They don't care, and I will be held to account if I brought that there.
And I can see clearly, there was a birthday going on here, if I'm not wrong.
This is when my son turned 18, and this was very special, because I had a talk with him, and I told him, look, what has happened? You have now become an adult. You are your own, on your own. We'll pray for you, we'll counsel you, we'll help you, we'll love you, and support you, but you are now you have reached the age of making decisions for yourself.
But you told the same thing by this.
These are my parents. I'm so blessed. She's 98. He's 102. Wow. He's going to 102. These are my parents.
Did he tell you the same thing when you turned 18? That you're on your own? Enda ujipange kijana?
My mom did. My dad was my dad was a kuku danger. My dad was lethal. So we didn't have a lot of time. We didn't have the privileges that my children have. When I was growing up, there wasn't much because we were many, and my father was polygamous, so we didn't have a lot of interaction with the parents. We loved and we enjoyed the few moments that we had, but because of him being polygamous and us being so many, we didn't have that.
Wasn't enough quality time.
Touch, which is what now we try to work hard. You know, Jeff, if you're brought up in that kind of abject poverty, your kids don't have to go through.
Right.
It's important to give them these stories. And I am very happy that it's my son was selecting. You have not shown the ones he selected.
I actually want to see some of the photos we
ones
have
he
of Dr.
selected.
As a young man, you know, those are the ones I saw, and even I was shocked as well. If you can have them up on screen.
No, you can't send this to the TV. Then he told me you can't deny your past.
Yes.
And I was very happy because our children need to know our stories, where we came from. We did not just happen to be successful.
Right.
They need to know that we struggled, so that when they are faced with challenges, they are able to endure. And we give them hope, by the way. Mentorship is very important.
Right.
And mentorship is not just about telling them. It's also, you know, seeing.
So we'll be showing them.
Yeah.
I will have some pictures of you in
Absolutely.
university coming up.
Yeah.
When you were in university, were you thinking that you want to go into government? What was the idea when you were a first-year student?
I was a leader from the day I got into primary school. You know, I was the head boy of my school, Ikumeni Primary. I was the school prefect in Mwala Secondary School. I was the school captain and CU chairman of Tala High School, where I did my A-levels.
Right.
I was a student leader and a CU official in Kenyatta University. I mean, has been my life. So,
what did you want to be when you were going through all? When you were asked as a young man, what do you want to be when you grow up, Ezekiel? What would you say?
I actually needed. I knew I was cut to be a leader.
Right.
But I like as a mother says in a book, leader without a title.
Right.
I was not quite sure what I would become. Initially, I was meant to be in the provincial administration because my first posting was a DO in Siaya.
Right.
Those days, that was a major feat, you know, if you're a district officer. But I wanted to, if you're a DO without your own district or without your own division, it used to be difficult. You were like a junior officer.
Right.
So when I was posted to CI and I to serve under DC, and we were men of us, I didn't like it. And I was a journalist, so I used to write a lot and I liked freedom. I could not fit in the straight jacket then, because I wanted to explore myself, find out what my purpose is in life. But I knew I was cut for a leader because that's how I grew up.
Okay, let's talk about this moment.
I was once the communications consultant for President Uhuru Kenyatta when he was running in 2002.
How was he as a coachee?
He's an amazing guy. He's so funny.
Right.
You would think he's the one coaching. And then the life, he's so full of life. He's so energetic and funny.
Right.
He's a very good man.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
It's rare to get a person like that.
Did he take all that you coached him on?
Yes.
In
We
that
would
session?
tell him to walk and talk like a president.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And
we'd go to the field and see him deliver. So I did that in 2002.
Wow.
Yes.
And here we are.
This
moment?
Oh, man. Those days. But you can see we were tough, man. You can see even those days. You can see even those days. That suit.
Right.
That suit was the suit of the day. But na hiyo ilikuwa kali sana. So I was a preacher. I was preaching in a crusade, but don't worry, live and really.
So this was you preaching?
Yes.
When I saw this photo, I thought it was a play and that you were acting as a pastor. That's what I thought when I saw this the first time.
I don't know. But there was quite a number of them for. But this looks like a Bible. I could have been acting, I don't know. In Kitambo. But I used to act, by the way. I used to act. I have operated a video library. I think all along, God was preparing me for this. Because from childhood, I was involved in plays, in drama. When I was in KU, when we were living, I was a main character in the major play that we did when we were leaving university. And I lived in Githurai for many years, Githurai 45.
Right.
And I meant that name because of a video library. It was classic communications. So I had a video library, a telephone bureau, and stuff like that.
Okay.
I've come a long way.
Let us flash forward to here.
This was in where?
Looks pretty recent, this one.
Kiboswa. This was last Saturday. This was 2-3 days ago. We were playing. These are my colleagues. These are my colleagues. That's the KFCB colors.
Right.
So we decided to have some fun in Kiboswa, a place called this hotel. This is a Ciala Resort at the junction of Luanda and Kisumu, somewhere at the junction. So we passed there and look. Yeah, you see us Amina during Kekoso. Yeah, and my colleagues. These are my colleagues. This guy is our procurement officer.
What type of boss do you think you are, Dr.
I think a terrible one. I'd rather my colleagues are. But I try. But I hope my colleagues would say that. Right? I would want them to analyze me. Some of them are here.
Right.
So I try.
When you get into the office,
I believe I'm not the boss. I'm the captain. That's what they call me.
Captain.
In fact, KFCB is very special because when I got there, I don't know whether, because I've never seen people like those.
Right.
When I got there, it's like they were waiting for a leader. because they did a cake for me to welcome me to KFCB, and it was written, it was a football or design,
right.
and it was written captain, and they
So
welcomed
that's how
me
it
back to
stuck to
KFCB.
you, the captain.
So I was very amazed because a lot of them, almost 99 point something, I never met them before. And here they are, a very enthusiastic team of young people, very brilliant young men and women. The average age of KFCB, by the way, is below 30.
Wow.
It's around 30.
That's good.
Most of these guys you're seeing here, they're not 30
And I've seen the team that you've walked in with, very
Yes,
energetic,
yes.
very
Yeah.
young. Your
They're on
photographer,
social
I like
media.
his hairstyle
Absolutely,
as well.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
he has a swag, eh?
Yes, oh
He has
yes.
a swag, you know, he's called Eric Mora. I mean, so that's the kind of stuff that we have. A lot of people think, oh, this thing is a cake because Mutua, you know, I see guys on social media. We are young. And even those of us who are advancing, we are young at heart, and so we connect.
Right.
We connect. But I have the best and the most amazing colleagues.
Right. And at least
KFCB
because
is
you've seen you're a person who gets to enjoy himself, you're not too stuck up. What do you do to relax when you're not working over the
I
weekend?
dance a lot. I dance myself.
You're a
crazy.
dancer.
Oh, I can just, like now I was in Lagos last weekend, but one, and I could spend a whole from 5 once I get into my room. I like either reading or listening to speeches, but there must be a session where I just dance myself crazy.
Go and you let loose.
Oh yes, I just let loose and I enjoy myself, and that's how I unwind.
Right.
You know, that's how I like my me moments where I can be able to reflect. I write down my dreams.
Right.
I look for songs and the speeches and the preaching that speaks to the kind of vision that I have and inspirational stuff.
Okay.
So let me say, listening to music, talking, I make friends. I am a very outgoing person, by the way.
Indeed.
Extremely outgoing.
Very true.
And I have friends. I make friends at the drop of a hat.
You know, because
we just meet like this.
And you have a conversation.
Oh, yeah, I don't take long. And the people think they know me. Even people don't know me.
Think they
I
know
meet
you.
people in the plane, even, you know. I remember one time I was flying in Zurich, from Zurich to Nice last year. And I shared, you know, a row with a seat with a Canadian. And he thought he knew me. He was so convinced that he has met me before. I made people think I'm Eddie Murphy. So I go to Cannes,
and they think you're Eddie Murphy.
Even the French embassy, they're like, oh, Eddie Murphy. And I'm like, yeah.
Dr. of time, we'll have to just wind this one down. But even as we do it, we have 30 seconds to go.
So unaniita alafu unaniharakisha. There's a time you'll never get to me.
No. And I actually want to speak about that because tutapatana
utakuwa
bado.
unatumia hizi.
Wacha nikuulize.
When I'll be famous.
Because nimesikia
When
mahali,
it's
nimesikia mahali about dreams.
Sina nakwambia.
Are you running for
There's
a
a
political
time
seat?
you look for me,
No.
kuja hapa, and I will not have time.
Because you'll be running for political
Yeah,
seat.
so take your time with me now that I'm available. Yeah.
So that rumor
And
is
this
true.
message is not just for you. It's for people out there who treat me like I don't matter. You know the day. Anyway, there is no rumor. Everyone, and I think we should encourage people to pursue their dreams.
Right.
There's nothing illegal about thinking big,
Right.
dreaming big, and also planning ahead of time. Right. And sometimes what works with pronouncing your dreams is that you get the right connections. Right. Sometimes they can be destructive because people will mark you out early, and those who are, you know. But generally, speak your dreams, speak your vision, articulate it, write it down, share with the people who matter. I think, as you can see, I'm heading somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know where, but the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord.
We shall leave it at that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And we shall see when we move to that next position.
Utakuwa unaniita?
Tutakutafuta bado.
Itakuwa ngumu sasa chukua namba zao jamaa.
Nitaongea na
Where we are
Eric.
going now.
I'll take Eric's number then.
No, I'll be available.
Thank you so much for your time.
I'm a journalist, so I love this. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and the timeless TBTs.
Yeah?
Yes, I mean, now we can see where you started from and more importantly, where you're going.
You're bringing them?
No, now for next time.
That,
we shall keep those ones in archive.
Absolutely. But thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Okay. And of course, sharing his story from where he started off. You've seen him there preaching in campus, and he's still the man who's going to tell you, no, this is wrong, and he'll have no qualms about saying that this is his moral stance as far as anything is concerned. And he's championing the cause for creatives out there, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, the CEO of KFCB, sharing his story, and more importantly, saying that the story isn't done yet. It's legal to dream, he's supposed to dream, and who knows where he'll be next. He said, tutamtafuta.